What's good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live podcast. Be back in 30 seconds. What's good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live podcast, episode number 74. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and we're here to take you up to the show. So let's go.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone a superhuman who can come and save my life. Crisis after crisis.
What's good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live podcast, episode number 74. On this here, February 11th, 2024. It's the year of the trilogy, and we're going over movies. And I have a shortened council for us today. That's all right. As long as there are two or more gathered, we shall continue to go. But we have Green Shirt Guy and Papa Wheelie with us tonight. What's good, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
What's going on?
I'm chilling. It's Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm more interested in the trailers that are coming out than the game. That's just me.
Wow.
That's just me. You know what I mean? Cliff is not feeling well, so we want to send out some good prayers for Cliff to feel better. He'll be back maybe tomorrow or next week. We'll see how that goes. And Phil is having technical difficulties. So whenever he straightens all that out, he will be in here. All right, let's see who's in the house tonight. Las Cruces 1971 is in the house. Hello from New Mexico. Thank you for joining us. Madame is here. Yay, thank you for joining us. Of course, Papa Wheelie's in the house. Thank you for joining us. TM Nerdy is in the house. Sorry, I'm late. I just finished recording with Tony. You are never late. You are never late. You are always on time, my friend. Joe, number 47771. Wait, where's Cliff? That's the mystery of it all. You just got to text
TM Nerdy?
I'm not feeling well. So he's going to be watching. Maybe he'll get in. We'll see. TM Nerdy, yes, we love you, Cliff. We love you so much. All right. That's everything. Let me get into the things we always do when we get on. Sorry about that.
Every time you read the names and Las Cruces is in here, I don't know if you remember the show Wings.
What is going on? Oh, it's wrong. What was that?
Remember the show Wings?
Yeah.
So every time you read the name Las Cruces, every time it's in here, and obviously they're from New Mexico, they said, right?
Las Cruces 1971.
There's an episode where the guy who plays Uncle, what's his name in Christmas Vacation with the cigar, he's on the show, and he wants to get flown between two different places that he left something like 30 years ago. And at the end of the very end of the episode, they finally decide they're going to go to Las Cruces and not like El Paso. I can't remember what the town is. And they're in the air. Or no, they're going to El Paso, not Las Cruces. They're in the air, and it's just a shot of the plane from behind on a sunset. And he goes, maybe it was Las Cruces. So every time you read that person's name, that's all I can think of. It's really funny.
Maybe we should get that clip. I'm going to see if I get that clip. And every time it's there, we'll play that. As it is on the screen, Young at Heart Foundation is a great organization run by a good friend Mike out in California. They do great things with kids that are awaiting medical procedures out there. One of the good things he does is you can sponsor a Hope Kit. That's 100% tax deductible. They take all the funds from that to create gift boxes and maybe set up some meetings with some celebrity type people. You can click that and sponsor a Hope Kit, or You can become a donor. More than 100,000 people are waiting for a life-saving transplant. You can help by registering as an organ donor right here. Register to become a donor. Donate at Life America. You want to get in touch with Mike, give him a call at 323-396-9998 or email him at info@youngatheartfoundation.com. Next up, Alternatives. This is Home Away from Home. It's located out in Hyde Park, New York, 870 Violet Avenue, Hyde Park, New York, that is. And is run by our good friend Anthony, one of the greatest comic book shop owners I've ever known. I'm so glad that I made it my home shop. They have comics, cards, toys. They offer the Hudson Valley's best selection of comics. They bag and board everything. Everything gets bagged and boarded. And if you join for a pull list with Anthony, he'll give you 10% off on the books. You can get in touch with him at 845-233-4234 or email him at alterniverse2@aol.com. And they also have the website alterniverse.net. This is also where we do all our filming for New Comic Book Day. So if you guys are ever in the area on Tuesdays between 4:30 and 7:30, come on in, make a cameo into the shop, and we'll film you. They also have card tournaments on the weekends, Lorcana, Pokemon, Magic. Just give Anthony a call. He'll give you a schedule of everything that's going on. And the tournaments be popping. Our YouTube channel, we hit 781. We want to thank everybody that's subscribing and continuing to watch on our steady climb up to 1,000. Steady climb. We have videos on the channel such as Council Conversations. Next week we'll premiere a Ghostbusters trailer reaction. There's a Despicable Me trailer reaction up. Also, our latest episode of New Comic Book Day, episode number 85, with a skit part 2 of the Phil saga, which we should be concluding this week. If Green Shirt guy writes it all.
Unless we were stretching it before. We could. I can stretch it if you
Listen,
want me
for
to
those
stretch
of you that don't know, no. When we come up with these skits, I mean, everybody's watching them every week. We literally come up with these skits the day of or the day before with a loose idea, maybe. And then we just go in, cameras blazing, and we put it together and it comes out like that. I think there's a beauty in that because it's like, okay, we got to get this done. We need to figure out what's funny right now instead of contemplating on it and stuff like that. But part 3 will come out Wednesday. Hope you tune in. There's also hauls in there. We do lives. Cliff, I was just on Cliff's Crisis Quest. It was very, very fun. It was very, very fun. Cliff is very tough with these questions. Cliff, he's got questions coming out of nowhere. Like, what's going on here? But it's a great show. Get all you people that have YouTube channels and stuff like that, and you want to get on the show, get in touch with Cliff. Cliff on Comics. Go get in touch with Cliff, and he'll get you to be a guest on there. But we want to thank everybody for subscribing. Also in the house is Papa Wheelie. He's at 977 subscribers. He's only 23 away. Let's get him there. Come on, let's subscribe. Let's get him there. Let's get him to the promised land, my friend. There's tons of videos on this channel. He loves to do lives. Big new wrestler talkers, 7, 6, 7, and 8 on there. Go check them out. Very, very dope. Papa Willie, what's good? Thank you for joining us today. Oh, Papa Willie already got the Las Cruces clip.
No, I found it. I sent it in the chat too.
I gotta cut it down to a couple seconds though, so we'll see.
So if you,
all right.
I don't know which one he sent you, but the one I sent you, if you get to, there's one section where it's like 3 seconds. You could probably just use that.
It's gonna be fun. I've been clipping a lot of videos lately, just building up my thing. And I haven't put them in our videos yet. You know how people clip to like, they jump to like a movie clip or something like that.
Right.
And I haven't been doing that. But for the past month or so, I've been building up my clips. So when you guys get them, it's gonna be very, very funny. Very, very funny. All right. News. Super Bowl today. It's gonna be a lot of trailers. Of course, the one I'm looking forward to is Deadpool. And rumored to be called Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yeah.
You don't think that's a good
I don't like
title?
that title. I don't like that title.
What title would you have used?
Deadpool 3.
Okay, I hear you on that.
Just make it Deadpool 3. You don't have to.
What?
Don't tease what's in it. Let me go see it.
I mean, everybody knows Wolverine's in it.
Well, then why would you need to call it Deadpool versus Wolverine?
Because
That's
of
like that's like
the
Star Wars Episode 9. Kylo dies. Like, why?
well, it's the money factor. You put Wolverine in the title.
Yeah, but if you're
Come
gonna put
on.
him on the poster, it's gonna make money anyway.
Joe says that. Oh, sorry, Eva. I'll get right back to yours. I heard Deadpool is the only Marvel movie in 2024.
It is.
That is correct, my friend. It is the only Marvel movie which will go to what I have been proposing as my take that Ryan Reynolds will save the MCU and shut up all you people that keep talking about the MCU is gone and it's dead and you forgot about the days when you didn't have an MCU and all you have were these things that we would watch and enjoy, but you've gotten spoiled. You've gotten spoiled, you have. But don't worry, Ryan Reynolds is gonna change all that and bring it
We
back
also
to where
did
it
get
is.
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur episodes.
I saw the first episode, loved it.
Good, right?
Yeah, I loved it. And oh man, this like I'm not
Are
even
we
gonna
doing-
spoil it, but the what she's becoming at the end, the thing she's going through, I thought was very adult for what's like a
Little bit.
kid. You know what I mean? Like the
I like-
PTSD type thing.
I mean, I've said from the beginning I love the artwork style, but I'm loving how the music again is perfect. It integrates. It's like a character in the story.
Yeah, very very good. And Lawrence Fishburne's back as the Beyonder. Very very good. Loved it.
I have to finish
just
the last
because-
two so we can talk about them.
Evil said just because Deadpool is good doesn't mean the MCU will be fixed. Haha! Let it begin, Evil. I didn't say it was going to be fixed. I said that it will save it, which means it will set it on a path to be great again. I mean, I've been watching, like, I'm a big MCU person. I've been watching everything they've been doing. And yes, I was just as disappointed as everybody else during Phase 4 and partly Phase 5. And it's just like these movies like Shang-Chi will come out. And then you haven't seen Shang-Chi since. You haven't, you know what I mean? Like, usually through the MCU sagas or phases, the character would like weave its way through the whole phase. But it was just a bunch of characters in Phase 4, like Moon Knight. You haven't seen him since. You know what I mean? Nobody's crossing over like the first 3 phases.
Well, but to be fair, what they did say when these phases start, I mean, I'm not trying to defend Marvel Studios, but they did say that there were going to be individual stories and it would not be an overarching story.
When?
That way back when they did say that it was going to be small arcs in and of itself, much like the 3 Miss Marvel things, all kind of.
Oh, you mean for the new phases?
Right.
Yes,
After
I remember
Endgame,
them
they did
saying
say
that.
we're not
They
doing
said they were
that
going to have 2 storylines. They said they were going to have an Earthbound storyline and they were going to have a cosmic storyline. And then eventually they'd meet up toward the end, but it would be more story focused. But I think the problem with Robert Downey Jr., his character gone, Captain America, his character gone. Now that's only 2 people, but those people were anchors.
Well,
for
or
the
if you,
MCU.
yeah, if you keep any of the Avengers, you're right. It grounds the whole thing, and you're right, anchors it. I mean,
Yeah.
here, no fair play to Chris Hemsworth. I think he tried, but Thor's not the character to do it with.
No, but Ragnarok was great, and then what was Love and Thunder came during that time now, where now Kevin Feige gets a directive from Disney that says we want more stuff. You need to give us more and more stuff, taking away from his time of focusing on the individual projects,
Right.
which turned out, you know, they had to go through the process, turned out to be disastrous. You can tell just by the box office. Every time a Marvel movie would come out, it would bank. Even when the first Ant-Man came out, it wasn't expected to bank, and that banked.
I mean, really, other than that, the Marvels, they all made money.
Yes. But
All
like
made,
if you look at the
all
slope,
made more, made money. When I say made money, like covered all their costs and actually made money. Marvels, I think,
yeah.
probably lost money, but so like. it's
Yeah,
not
but like their trajectory was like this. And then Endgame happened and whoo,
well,
the box office teetered, which caused Kevin Feige to stop everything. I think the straw that broke the camel's back was when he watched Daredevil Born Again. He watched what they had made, and he came out the room and said, "You're all fired." I'm pretty sure he didn't do it like that. I want to imagine him doing it like that. You're all fired. What did
All
you
of
show me in there? What is
all
going
of you that
on
work
in
here
here?
tomorrow, all of you that work here tomorrow, please step forward. None of you should be staying.
You're gone. You're gone. And then you wait to see what is going to be his reaction after he fires all of them. And what does he do? He goes back to the Netflix Daredevil people, like the Punisher and stuff, and says, I want that. I want you to do what you did there, do it here. What you're supposed to do. So I think Daredevil is going to be phenomenal. I think Deadpool 3 is going to be phenomenal. Then you got Captain America coming out the year after. Blade's supposed to come out next year. So there's only about two movies coming out next year. Blade and
actually
Thunderbolts.
Come out though?
That's what they said. That's what they said.
Here, I'm not saying I know more than you, but I mean, then Mahershala Ali was like, I'm not doing this movie.
Oh no, they gave him the first few scripts and he kind of like threw them in their faces.
He's
like,
I'm
what
not doing
garbage
this.
is this? Do you want me to leave right now?
Right.
But
so I mean, this is last time we talked about this. I didn't assume they actually had an approved script at this point.
Yeah, they had people rewriting it and all that. So I think the people who are doing I forget who. People that did a TV show, they're doing Blade. Evil says Disney just spent $1 billion connect with Fortnite, but Epic Games went bankrupt last year and barely was able to hold on to Fortnite. Yeah, but Disney's got more money. And then Disney's got more products. You know what I mean? Like, if Disney owns Fortnite, okay, now all our characters can go into Fortnite. All of them can go into Fortnite. There's no limit to it now. You know what I mean?
Well,
they can even keep out Batman. Remember, Batman was in Fortnite and all that stuff. They could say, DC, no more Fortnite for you. It's exclusively Marvel now. You know what I mean?
Or you have two versions.
Yeah, or you make DC pay to get into that, which I don't think Marvel will do. Marvel will just be like, nah, you can't come. Kamaria's in the house. Hey, guys, it's all right. Nobody's late. We're always on time. We're always on time. So yeah, it'll be Captain America, which they refilmed as well.
I think
redid that whole movie.
Will be a big miss if it's somehow you don't at least have a cameo with Chris Evans in it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
He doesn't have to be a big part. He could just be, at the end, like a debrief session with,
Because it's like, if you bring him back, what role does he play? Because if he comes back and saves the day in Sam Wilson's first movie, it doesn't give Sam Wilson any
I'm fine.
credit.
No, yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm fine with him not being a major plot point, but what age do you make him to?
I think he has to be old man Cap, and then something that he decides that he has to get, because that's more comic book wise. Okay, I got to find a way to get myself back to use. You know what I mean?
Well, but we don't find out why he's old at the end of Endgame, though. We just assume.
Theory is, there's only theory. Nobody kill. He's been in the MCU the whole time. That Peggy always had a secret husband. Okay. And he's always been there just making sure all the things go the way they're supposed to go.
Yeah, but what does that have to do?
Because remember, she has kids, but they never show her husband.
Okay, but what does that have to do with him not having the serum anymore?
Right. That's another thing.
So he would. What I'm saying is, if he still had the serum, he wouldn't age. So you have to explain why he's old.
Not that he wouldn't age. He aged at a slower rate.
Because remember when
what my theory is?
When he gets stripped out, he ages like that.
My theory, the thing I just said wasn't my theory, but my theory is he's been through the whole multiversal war already. And that's how he has that super shield. Like, that's not the old shield. It's a new shield that he gives Sam.
Maybe.
So I think he's been through the multiversal war already.
Maybe.
So that's just my theory.
I think it. I mean, if they're gonna bring Evans back, I think you almost have to at some point do the death of Cap story, because that's the next big story for that character.
It has to be a while though, because he's been gone.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
You wouldn't do
yeah.
it right away. I'm just saying.
And will Chris Evans come? Because Marvel's gonna soft
Because
reboot
you left
after
a bunch
Secret
of those
Wars.
characters like Sharon Stone and so forth just kind of out in the wind anyway.
Yeah, they're gonna soft reboot after Secret Wars. So the question is, does Chris Evans come back as Cap? Do they recast a new Cap? You know what I mean? So that's where the
I hope
touchy
not.
thing is, because we know after Secret Wars everything's supposed to merge and it be a new thing. So that's gonna be the funny part. Larry says Black Panther 2 wasn't necessarily a bomb, but it didn't make more money than the first. Yeah, I like Wakanda Forever. I mean, granted, Black Panther, the T'Challa one was not there, but characters like Namor were phenomenal. They world built his world underneath and all that, his character. Now it's just like, okay, I got to see him somewhere else. Give me a end credit scene where somebody walks into a room and the Illuminati are sitting there and Namor is one of the people sitting at the council table. You know what I mean? Give me something to bring them back.
Yeah, but we didn't see the Illuminati other than that tease in
Doctor Strange. Yeah.
So you have to, yeah.
But it
And
goes
if
to
you're
say
gonna
if
bring
there
them
was
back-
one in that universe, there's one in this universe
What
as
I'm
well.
saying, but if you're going to do that, then you have to not have Cap or not Cap. You have to not have Iron Man and a couple other people, right?
Yeah, but did you just replace them with other characters? That's all it is.
I mean, yeah, but you got to.
Killing Iron
But
Man
who?
and well, he didn't kill Cap, but killing Iron Man was I guess it was necessary, but it changed your whole MCU after that because everything runs through Robert Downey Jr. and Stark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Evils, for me, in my opinion, Black Panther 2 was the worst the worst.
Wow.
Evil, such an evil comment that is. Love the first movie, but second was broken.
I really like the first one, but my problem with the first one is you kill Killmonger, and why? You
didn't have to kill Killmonger.
Movies, they always kill off the big bad. You don't always have to kill him because then you can't use him again.
Yeah, I agree with you. They shouldn't have killed him.
And there's no reason to kill him. You got him beat. Just stick him in, you give him.
Yeah. Instead of him dying, T'Challa could just say to him, I hope one day you learn your lesson for this, blah, blah, blah. And then they go. You know what I mean?
You stick him in Wakandan prison.
Yeah.
And then the next story is he broke out and has been angry this whole time.
That was a bad thing to kill.
I just wrote a story for you, Marvel. Way to screw it up.
But that's the beauty of Secret Wars, my friend.
Yeah.
Secret Wars, anything can happen. Anything can happen in a Secret Wars. Deadpool trailer. What do you think you're gonna see?
Well, clearly, you're gonna see Wolverine.
Oh, of course. Do we see Wolverine with the mask?
I think you're gonna see him in two different suits. You're gonna see the yellow and blue, and I wouldn't be shocked if you see a quick shot, like a passing shot of the brown and yellow.
The brown? We're gonna see the brown, baby! Oh my god!
I wouldn't be shocked.
I would love
because
to
you get
see
enough
the brown.
people that freak out just because they saw that.
Yeah, even if it's just that yellow suit but painted with the brown, even if it's just that, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. What I hear is they're only 30-second spots, so what's gonna happen is you're gonna get a Deadpool 30-second teaser, then supposedly get the full trailer later.
Online.
Yeah. That's what they say.
like
But there's gonna be other trailers like Twisters. There's gonna be a trailer, the sequel to the Jodie Foster Twister movie. Jodie Foster.
Not Jodie Foster.
No, Jodie Foster's not in it, but it is.
Well, Jodie Foster wasn't in the first one.
Who was the one that was in the first one?
What's her name from Mad About You? I can see her face. Helen Hunt.
Was it Helen Hunt?
Jodie
Foster. Sure?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure. With Bill Pullman, yeah, it was Helen Hunt. Jodie Foster was in the one where.
Which one was she?
She was in the one where she's the astronaut and falls through the thing, and she goes and meets her father, or the alien that looks like her father. And
no, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that movie, but yeah,
it is Helen Hunt. Son of a.
Oh, I make mistakes, but movies I'm usually pretty good with.
Probably says I love y'all, but I feel like crap. But I love The Dark Knight. I wish they would have kept Katie Holmes. But then as Tom Cruise got in the way, I didn't like the Scarecrow.
He's not wrong.
You're not wrong, Papa Willie. Yeah, be safe, Papa Willie. He's not feeling well. He's just gonna rest up. We'll check you
better,
next
yeah.
time, Papa Willie. Be safe
You
out
stole
there, all right?
you stole my commentary. I was gonna say same thing about Katie Holmes, but we'll talk about more.
All right, green shirt guy. It's me and you, green shirt
It's
guy.
a two-hander now.
Oh, as long as 2 or more are there, we shall continue.
It's all right. You don't usually yell over me like Cliff does.
But yeah, it should be fun with the Super Bowl trailers. I guess it's streaming on Paramount. So, because I don't have cable. I don't have cable.
Are they gonna? Well, it's on CBS. You don't have to have cable.
Well, I don't have any.
If you have access to
Yeah.
CBS, you can watch it.
Mhm.
Do you Moana 2?
Yes, Moana 2.
Okay.
But they're also doing the Moana live action, which was. I'm like, you're gonna put out Moana 2, and then maybe a year later put out the live action of Moana.
They need to stop with these live action ones because it's for who?
Remember, it's The Rock. Remember that.
Well, I know it's The Rock and his ego. It's not the issue.
It's The Rock.
My point is, who is that movie for? Who went, oh, you know what? This is such a great movie. I'd rather have seen it with real people.
The problem is,
and we know
one of
so.
Sam's theories that everybody's gonna shoot holes through, but I'm just gonna give you. The problem is with these live action movies, they should have been original. They should have been original movies, like the animations were original. The problem is they're remakes.
That's
you know what I mean.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, they're remakes.
And we talk about this every Sunday. That's my problem with the Mean Girls movie now. We've already seen it. Why do I need to see a musical of the same thing?
Like let's say for The Little Mermaid, right? It should have been a sequel to The Little Mermaid story.
Yes. Or prequel.
You know what I mean? Or prequel. But and yeah, you got Chloe Bailey as The Little Mermaid. You still keep her. You just do the sequel. As simple as that. You continue the story. The problem is the remake.
Mm-hmm.
It's the remake. Aladdin, the same thing. You should have continued the story from when he was there. Write an original story. That would have been phenomenal. Like Aladdin's in the palace with the princess.
We don't want to do that.
And Jafar is going to come back. So it's like, come on. Continue the story.
We don't want to do that because then we got to pay for a writer.
True. Nah, Rock isn't going to play himself in last. Oh, who's the actor then? Like, I could have swore he was going to do it. Very interesting. I have not liked any of the actions except the Jungle Book. But again, that's another remake.
One was interesting. I didn't dislike it. It was just like, it was okay, but it was interesting because at least that one was an animation, but not an animation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of the stuff they did with King Louis was interesting because they expanded his character.
It's still a remake too. It's that thing of like, I know what's gonna happen, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, but it's been a while since I've seen it. I want to say that that one followed the book a little bit more than the cartoon.
Okay. All right. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. What do you think is going to happen with the Super Bowl trailers? Let's get into the box office, my friend. Box office for February 9th through the 11th, 2024. Coming in at number 1 is Argyle, but with only 6.5 million.
Didn't they just announce recently too that it's somewhat involved? It's somewhat with the Kingsman universe.
It is.
Okay.
It is loosely linked to that universe. It dropped 62% though.
Well, that's okay.
You know what I mean? Lisa Frankenstein comes in new at number 2 with 3.8. We have a very, very slow weekend with the movies being a Super Bowl weekend. The
but
Beekeeper.
That's not necessarily true though, because this is based on Friday and Saturday, not today. Thursday,
True,
Friday,
but it gives you some kind of.
So if you look at the next week and you see the numbers are all down, I'll give you that Sunday heard it. But.
Yeah. The Beekeeper stays at number 3, even though it dropped from 220 theaters. The Chosen season 4 episodes 1 through 3 come in at number 4, dropping from number 2. Wonka comes in at number 5, dropping it from number 4. That dropped 33%, but it still made another 3 million. I mean, so good. I got to see that. Migration comes in at number 6. Look at all this red. Everybody dropping.
Yeah.
Everybody dropping.
It's a weird time of the year.
Anyone but you.
Talk about that because I watched. I was saying I watched the series about them making the Godfather. They talk about that in that when it came out was, at one point in the one episode they talk about when they're going to release it, and they wanted to release it earlier than now because there is like a black hole or gully when movies just kind of don't make money for a few months. So it's not, I guess it's not surprising that these, but maybe the numbers are even lower than normal.
It is Super Bowl weekend though. It is.
Yeah.
Mean Girls, American Fiction, Poor Things, Aquaman still hanging around.
Yeah.
Gotta respect that, Aquaman. Out of Darkness comes in with $1 million. Turning Red. Taste
They
of
re-released.
Things.
They re-released Turning Red.
Yeah.
Or they released Turning Red actually, because it was
Mhm.
it was a straight to Disney Plus thing,
Oh, so they finally gave it a theatrical release then.
which makes me wonder how much it's made. Oh, 535,000. Because it's only been up for the week. So, yeah.
Oppenheimer with the 50K.
Okay, so it's not going to make the billion, right?
Yeah.
You're going to see that number completely fall off the shelf, I would imagine, this week because it's being released on Peacock Thursday, or I'm sorry, Friday.
Okay.
So that's in my to watch this week.
All right. Freud's Last Session is the final movie on the list. Made about 5,000. Shout out to Freud. Well, let me not say that because I don't know. Have no idea what that movie's about.
I love these movies.
Absolutely none.
That you showed at the bottom. They're in one theater. That's like got to be a student film, right?
Which one?
Go down.
Freud?
36 and 37 are in one theater.
Oh, Ennio. Let's give Ennio some.
What do we need to do to
publicity.
get ourselves on here? Right?
A documentary on the legendary film composer Ennio Morricone.
Okay.
What was that?
I said okay.
Ennio, and let's see what the other one was. Drift.
It's got to be another documentary then. Oh, maybe not.
Jacqueline escapes her war-torn country to a Greek island. She meets an unmoored tour guide, and the two become close as they each find hope in the other. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so that's the box office this week, guys. Did you guys go out to the movies? Leave it in the comment below. Show us if you did or not. Let me see if anybody says something here. People says haven't seen the trailer for Lisa Frankenstein. Yeah, I want to see that too. It did come out though. Beekeeper was very cool. That Jason Statham. Sorry says. Evil's still not interested in watching Oppenheimer.
Really?
Very interesting.
I'm gonna watch it.
Uh,
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah. Eats with dollar movies.
He also
that's a nice
did.
little
He
trailer.
won an Oscar for The Mission, the not Robert Downey, the Robert De Niro movie. Him and Jeremy Irons are missionaries in Brazil, and yeah, he did the score for that. He won an Oscar for that.
Okay,
I know that
that's
because
pretty
my
cool.
parents love that, and I got to listen to it in the car wherever we drove for like 3 months.
Roger. All right. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, every week we ask you to do some homework. And this is the year of trilogies 2024. And our new trilogy is the Dark Knight trilogy, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Knight trilogy. And the first movie in that trilogy, Batman Begins. Came out 2005. It's PG-13. It's about a 2-hour and 20-minute movie. It's directed by Christopher Nolan. And it stars Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Ken I can't say it. Ken W. Watanabe, Liam Neeson, Katie Holmes, Gary Oldman, Cillian Murphy, Tom Wilkinson, Rutger Hauer, Linus Roche, Mark Boone Jr., Morgan Freeman, all the way down here at the bottom. Whoa, that's crazy. Larry Holden, Gerald Murphy, Colin McFarlane, Sarah Stewart, Gus Lewis, and Richard Brake.
Amongst others, but
All right. So, yeah. All right. So let's chat about it, Green Shirt Guy.
So I remember going to see this movie and maybe not expecting, but waiting for the typical opening where the you see his parents die, and they do that in this, but he does it differently, and I thought that was a nice touch, rather than just rehashing it, taking it from a different angle, and it's not opening on that, referring to it, but not opening on that scene. I thought it was interesting.
This movie actually starts like that with that scene of him falling down. Right? That's how it starts.
I think if I remember correctly, it starts. I just watched it this morning. I should know.
Yeah.
It starts with him in prison.
Is it with him in prison?
Or if it's not, it's
no. It's the kids. Remember he falls to the floor.
I thought that was flashbacks while he's in prison.
No, there are other flashbacks while he's in prison. But remember, he falls. The bats attack.
Right.
And then they show. Right. Then he wakes up in the prison, like he just had a dream. Yeah. So Batman's in prison.
So we can learn to get up.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne's in prison.
This much, his father, the actor that plays his father, is amazing in this movie, and he's used probably in some ways I feel almost not enough, but because I wanted more of him, but it's fine.
Yeah, he's starts out in prison. He's just going around the world. You eventually find out that, through living his life, he's like one of them bratty billionaire kids that, doesn't want anything to do with his father's billions. He'd burn the whole house down. But if it wasn't for Alfred keep coming in and giving him those little things, like he's like, you haven't given up on me yet, Alfred. Have you? Right. He's like, no, sir, never. Michael Caine's performance throughout all these movies is great. Like he is Alfred. You know what I mean? And then
I do love how even in the comics, Bruce Wayne's supposed to be eternally in his late 30s, early 40s, right? In the comic, he still calls him Master Wayne. Like I still remember you when you were a little snot that I had to take care of. Not Mr. Wayne, not Mr. Bruce, Master Wayne.
Let's put it this way. He blames the guy who got his father killed or killed his father, the gangster guy. And he decides to come back that he's going to kill this guy himself. Whether after the trial or whatever, they have a trial. They ask him to speak as the last Wayne. And he walks out the court. Yeah, he walks out the court. So they bring the other guy out and he has this gun like he's ready to kill him. But then somebody comes and kills him instead for him.
Right.
And then
his childhood friend is on the legal team trying to prosecute the guy.
Yeah. The Katie Holmes character, what's her name again?
Rachel Dawes.
She takes him to Falcone's little resort, like go in there and do it yourself, blah, 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 da, da, da. Right. Don't be a punk about it. It's all out in the open.
It's not that we can't find him. We just can't do anything about it.
Yeah. So he does. When she leaves, he does go in.
Right.
And Falcone gives him a talking to, like, you ain't nothing, you little piece of doo-doo. Like you're nothing, get out of here, blah, blah, blah. So Bruce ends up deciding that he's just gonna leave everything behind. And that was one weird point. Like he's just jumping on random ships now. Like
yeah.
He's just, I'm gonna jump on this freighter right here and go live a whole new life.
Explain it though. Why exactly does Falcone kill Joe Chill?
Why does Falcone kill Joe Chill?
Because the guy's exonerated. He's getting, they're not putting him in prison. So he's not going to talk. And then if you remember, he's going to go do it.
Because he's a loose end. He's a loose end because he was sent to kill Thomas Wayne. He's a loose end. That's why they got rid of him.
Okay, but he's not going to talk.
How do you know that?
I suppose you're right, but even okay.
You know what I mean? Thinking gangster wise, how would you
Was
know
he?
that?
Was he? Though,
Phil
because
Aliens
later
in the
movie-
house and Kalita Characters in the house. Thank you guys for joining us. Lady Fantastic is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I know. I got that one. Watanabe. Got it. All right. I won't mess that one up anymore.
Was he though? Because later in the movie, Roz says that it was just some random person that the Waynes were helping that took him, or maybe that was just his perspective.
Yeah. Strange Dog Comic Stuff is in the house. Thank you for joining us.
Hello,
John's
hello.
Comics for Kids. He loves Batman Begins. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. So he jumps on the ship, right? I guess he
Yeah.
goes and does his adventures. He becomes like a thief, so he can
Mhm.
learn what it's like to be a thief and stuff like that. And inside the prison, Liam Neeson shows up, and he knows who he is, and he's like, "Do you want to become like this, or do you want to become an idea, something that cannot be destroyed?" And he gives him the thing. He's like, "Well, if you want to do that, at the top of this mountain, we're gonna release you tomorrow." And at the top of this mountain, there's a rare blue flower. You bring it to the temple over here, and then we can start. So Bruce does it. He goes to the top. He meets Ra's al Ghul.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Ken Watanabe.
yeah, as being a comic book fan, when he came up, when I saw him, I was like, oh, okay, this is good. This is good. I like this. But they basically induct him into the League of Shadows, teaching him how to be invisible, the ways of a ninja, and it's just there's a bond between Liam Neeson and Bruce Wayne that grows tighter and tighter. Bruce Wayne thinks that what's the guy's name?
Who?
Liam Neeson character. Not the
Oh, Ducat.
Ducard, yeah. So he thinks Ducard is really trying to teach him some good until the trial, where he must show that he can do anything no matter what it's going to take.
Right.
And they challenged him to kill a person that they showed earlier in the film that was a criminal, quote unquote, and he needed to be tried. So he refuses to do it. He's like, there must be another way. He refuses to do it, and he basically takes down the whole temple, kills Ra's al Ghul. And he gets
even
out of
before
there.
that, though, remember, because it comes up again later. He smushes up the flower and makes him breathe in the stuff to learn about fear.
Yes,
face your fear.
because
that comes up. Yeah.
Face your fear, which was pretty dope. That little scene with all the guys, like they would move, like
Yeah. Yeah.
and then he realized that he had a cut on his arm, which was pretty cool. I really like that writing of that. He sliced two people's arms. Now the people that are standing there, I'm like, are we supposed to just stand here and watch two slices our arm?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but they don't move. They just stay right there. And he ends up passing the test and all that. But, after he destroys the temple and all that, Alfred just out of nowhere has got the plane right there.
Well,
I'm sure time passed and he's gotten in touch with people.
Clearly.
Yeah. But, he comes back to Gotham and he's like, I'm going to become something.
The conversation they have on the plane makes me laugh, though, where he says the whole thing about I can't imagine the implications of bringing you back from the dead. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you're declared dead. You've been gone.
It's been 7 years, sir.
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing I left everything to use. Yeah, you can borrow the
Rolls Royce.
The full tank. That made me laugh.
Yeah, that was really good. Wayne goes back to Wayne Tower Enterprise, lets them all know that he's back. It's a real funny scene because he goes to the secretary and he's like, I'm Bruce Wayne. And then they're outside and the secretary's not answering. So they go out and like, what are you doing? He's like playing golf with her, like miniature golf. Like, you gotta get the thing. And they're just shocked. They're like, oh my God, he's alive. And he basically tells them, you guys are just doing what you're doing. Just keep running the company.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just want to check out some other stuff.
I want to learn what's going on here. So I figured I'd work in some small department. What were you thinking?
Yeah. And then they assign him to Morgan Freeman's character. Applied Sciences. Where Morgan Freeman has just been coming up with all types of doohickeys and gadgets all over the place.
Well, do you feel like it's all him, or some of it is he was already kind of doing stuff in that department and they're like, well, we don't do that anymore, so just go sit and play with your toys now?
I want to say it was about 75% him.
Okay,
Because
that's fair. That's
when
fair.
Batman starts asking him for new stuff, he's just like, okay, no problem.
Right.
He got nobody working with him,
That's
and
fair.
he's got,
I'm not.
you know what I mean?
Here's the thing, and I think Morgan Freeman's role in this and then the next movie, because he's not in the third one, right? Is amazing. He's if he's not the second or third best character behind, obviously Bruce and Alfred, he makes the movie.
Yeah.
And Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman.
Yeah. So Batman, starts doing his Batman Year One stuff, basically going out. He meets up with Gordon. Because, like, this movie has, like, 3 different movies inside of it.
Yes.
Like, honestly. The Scarecrow is introduced in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's played by Cillian Murphy. He's actually telling all the cops and everybody that the criminals are locking up are insane, so he can get them in Arkham Asylum.
Right.
And he can experiment on them.
Or let them out.
Yeah. And he's been plotting with another person to put this Scarecrow stuff inside the water, so it can spread through Gotham, because they show that a Wayne Enterprises thing has been stolen, the radio emitter,
microwave emitter.
Yeah, so that's been stolen. That's exactly what they need to disperse this thing. And then moving forward, they kind of raid Arkham. They kind of like shut down his thing a little bit. And you kind of think that's it. Like, okay, the movie's is at the end. But then he has his birthday party. And at the birthday party, a lady says, "Oh, Bruce, have you met Ra's al Ghul?"
Am I saying this right?
Am I saying this right? And a guy turns around, and it's a guy that kind of looked like the one before. And he's like, "You're not Ra's al Ghul." And then
I watched him die.
Yeah, I watched him die. And Liam Neeson Ducard comes from behind. Is Ra's al Ghul a man or an idea?
Right.
And Bruce is tight because he's like, "I saved your life," because he did. When the temple was being destroyed in the beginning, when Bruce was escaping, he saved him and he brought him somewhere, and he was able to live. But it comes to find out that the League of Shadows wants to burn Gotham to the ground because it feels it's far beyond what it is. It can't be saved.
Right.
They want to cleanse it.
They want to bring the world back into balance.
And then they burn down Wayne Manor. He knocks out Bruce. He's like, "Funny, you burned me down my house, and now I burned down yours."
Right.
But good old Alfred comes from behind when everybody's gone, and he knocks out one guy, and he saves a funny line when he's trying to save. He's like, "All those push-ups, and you think you couldn't lift the log."
Right.
The funny part is that he stops and looks at Alfred for like 2 seconds, like, "Really? Like, right now you're gonna do this?" And he ends up pushing the thing off. And then that just leads into the whole ending where Bruce has to square off with Ra's al Ghul, and he has to save the city with Gordon. He gives Gordon the tumbler, which is pretty cool.
Well, what bothered me with that? I mean, and you know me, and as a Batman fan, so obviously it's funny to hear me criticize this movie. When he says to me, "So what do you need me to do?" He's like, "Well, can you drive stick?" I'm like, come on. Such a stupid line, because first of all, that vehicle's not stick, because at no point in driving it do you see him shift.
Yeah.
Either of them.
Maybe it's a button shift. It's a button shift. But they have to split up, and he has to help because they released all the criminals from Arkham. So the criminals from Arkham are everywhere. It's mayhem. They have a dope train scene with him and Ducard, and the train's racing toward Wayne Tower. But in the end, Bruce Wayne wins. Batman wins. Ducard dies. He's Ra's al Ghul.
Did he though?
He did, because he doesn't come back. Because
there's nothing that says they couldn't brought him back though.
Right. They do have a mention. Remember when he turns around and he sees him? He's like, "Oh, there's things supernatural, this and that." He does mention a supernatural. So I'm like, "Oh, do you have a Lazarus pit somewhere?"
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If they wanted to do that, they could have done that, fourth movie if they were going to keep going. But I don't know. To me, this movie the plot's pretty good, and it's not him being a detective because he's still fairly new. So I'm okay with the pieces being put together by other people. Like it's mostly what's Morgan Freeman's character? I'm blanking on his name right now. It's what is his last name? I just blanked again.
Oh my god, I forgot his name too. We're getting old here, people. We're getting old. Hold on. We always just say it's more Lucius Fox.
Lucius, but I can't remember his first. Fox. Yeah, Fox is the one that kind of puts
Yeah.
all the pieces together for him. He's like, oh, and then he's the one that makes sure it doesn't happen. I also was kind of. I didn't like the. I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. You're killing him. Let's stop. Let's stop.
But I don't have to save you. His voice isn't as raspy as in the when we'll see in the Dark Knight. You notice that? It's just slightly raspy.
And I know people bump up against that, but like he would have to do something because everyone would recognize his voice. You know what I mean?
Oh, everybody's sad. Cliff is not feeling well. He wishes everybody the best. He's, eating his sopa and grilled cheese right now. Sitting down, you know what I mean? He's probably got Vicks smeared, a whole bunch of Vicks smeared on his chest and on his face because he is Puerto Rican. So, we love to do that.
Put some socks on.
You know what I mean? So he's just chilling. We want him to get better. Perhaps he can get on tomorrow. We'll send him all your love.
Conversations are for me throughout this movie are great. It's just smartly written. The stuff with him and Fox are great.
It's great, yeah.
Especially where he goes, what do you want to use it for? Spelunking. A lot of urban spelunking. And then when he says something about the whatever you call it later, he goes, when he shows him the tumbler, he goes, what would you use that? And he goes like, well, there's not a whole lot of call for the billionaire spelunking base jumping class around here. that made me laugh. I also love the where he says something to him. He goes, well, I don't want to tell you. He's like, look, Mr. Wayne, this is all yours. I get it. And if you don't tell me, I don't have to lie to them and tell them I know what you're doing. I'm like, absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think Papa we said that earlier. I think it's a miss to not have kept Katie Holmes in the following movies. I don't remember why she left.
Like you said though, that's Tom Cruise, man. Tom Cruise ruined that. You know? Well, I mean, allegedly. I can't say that.
And don't get me wrong,
allegedly.
Gyllenhaal's great, but I think Katie Holmes is a better choice. But that's just
But funny part is that in the end, we really didn't care that they changed.
No, because it's not about her character anyway. You're absolutely right.
We didn't really care.
And she dies. So
yeah. So the movie ends with the realization that criminals are running rampant all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So it ends on like a really okay, yeah, they defeated the League of Shadows, but now these criminals are everywhere. And Gordon says to him, we even got this one, he's into theatrics. And he's like, what you got? And he gives him a card. He's like, he leaves his calling card. And he turns it over and it's the Joker card.
Well, he even says he's in bank heists, which is
he's like,
the opening scene of the second one.
Yeah, he's like, I'll look into it. So that was pretty cool when you were watching, like, oh, we're going to get the Joker next. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then, basically overall, this was a great, like it said, it's Batman Begins.
Mm-hmm.
It's the beginning of how he became Batman. It's basically Batman Year One. And I guess the Dark Knight would be Batman Year Two. Pretty much.
I guess. I mean, do we assume that it picks up basically where this movie
Year
left
Two
off?
or Year Three? I wouldn't go farther than Year Three though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But maybe Year Two, Year Three, which is going to be great to get into next week. Just looking like when we watched it back in the days, I thought the Batman suit was dope, everything. But looking back at it, it was like, oh, they definitely did improve on that suit as they move forward.
He still has the stiff neck, which is always a problem.
Stiff neck.
But I mean, it makes sense though.
But they correct that in the next movie. So
yeah,
they correct.
I did love the part where they're talking about buying the pieces for the cowl separately, so nobody knows what they're doing. And they
Yeah.
got to buy
Uh,
10,000 at a time.
like
He's like, well,
10,000.
at
And the
least
ones
we'll
they
have
bought
extra.
were so brittle because they just hit it once with the bat
Right. Well,
and
maybe
it
when he
just
says
shattered.
the new ones that we ordered will be an
Be up
improvement
to
or something
spec.
like that.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, somebody just punches you with one of those. Your face thing
Right.
is gonna crack.
Right.
So yeah. So what's your score for this green shirt guy?
So I'm just trying to think. I haven't watched this one in forever. I've watched the next one a bunch since. It's an 8.6, 8.7. Not quite a 9. It's good. I really like lots of it. There's a couple things that I think are stupid, but and I'm a Batman guy, so yeah, 8.6, 8.7.
Okay. Yeah, I will give this movie. I'll give it a 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5. Why am I giving it an 8.5? There's just certain things, like some of the, like the outfit, like I wasn't a big fan of the Batman suit. You know what I mean? I
I
wasn't a
didn't
big
mind it.
fan
I
of
just
it.
don't like the all black ones. I never have.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the suit. I thought it was long, even though it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes. But you know, when you come to the whole series, you'll realize that that's probably short in comparison to
Well,
the other
and
ones.
you got to remember too that this one, if you, I mean, how at this day and age you wouldn't know Batman's origin story. You
Yeah,
have to put that in there. If you cut that out, you probably take
Yeah.
20, 25 minutes off.
yeah. And it was weird is that this came out a little bit after. Like, when was the last Batman movie? It was Batman and Robin.
Right. Well, it's been a couple of years.
A couple years, right? And then we're just
Because you
rebooting
remember,
it again.
like that was the movie. Batman and Robin was the movie that everyone thought completely destroyed
Right.
superhero movies as it were.
Right.
So, let me look it up for you. Well,
Yeah, but 8.5 is very enjoyable. Christian Bale, he's a great Batman. Right now, he's definitive Batman. The best action Batman will always be Ben Affleck to me, because just that scene alone in Batman vs Superman, the warehouse scene, nothing like that's ever been done with Batman.
For me, I love Affleck because I say this to Anthony all the time. As far as Batman movies go, anybody can be in the suit, because once you put the suit on, it doesn't really matter, right? You can be anybody. For me, the true test of whether you're a good Batman is how are you as Bruce Wayne. And I believe Affleck as a billionaire playboy, because that's kind of who he is. He's done
Very
a billionaire, but he's got a lot of money and he kind of does what he wants. So Batman and Robin came out in 97.
97. So this was a while after that.
This was 2005.
Okay.
So this is 8 years later.
All right. Evil says, fun Easter egg. Each movie has 3 Batman villains. It does, right? Because the Dark Knight.
Who's the third one in this?
Scarecrow is in the Dark Knight. He's in the beginning.
Well, who's the third one in this one?
This
Are we counting
one,
Joker as
Falcone.
Oh, okay. I'll give you Falcone. Okay.
Falcone, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. He also says another fun fact is the soundtrack title names are all real Bat names. Excellent.
Is that right?
Yeah. Kalita says I like Christian Bale Batman actor wise. And Affleck was more physical fit to be able to do stunts and things. Yeah, like he looked phenomenal. Like nobody's ever looked better than Ben Affleck in Batman vs Superman as Batman.
What, you didn't like Pattinson when he had his shirt off pushing the table across that floor?
Nah, son.
Pattinson
was cool.
That took me out of it.
Pattinson was more of a realistic. It was cool. You know what I mean?
I had no problem
Affleck
with
was
him.
like jumping off of the page to me. Like, that's Batman.
Well, he's very Dark Knight Returns Batman.
Victor Sass goes after Rachel and Fear Gas scene. Oh yeah.
Yes. And he's the one that Crane gets off at the beginning in the first court scene.
Yeah.
Which is weird though, because you would think that he would have some kind of scars or something on him, and he doesn't.
All right, so that's what we think. I'm gonna go through. What do you guys think? Remember, next week we're doing part 2 of the Dark Knight trilogy, The Dark Knight. That's my favorite Batman of all of these.
I One, two.
Make sure you do your homework, and we will be back next Sunday, 5 p.m., 2 p.m. Pacific. Let me go through these comments right here because I forgot last Sunday. I am not going to forget this Sunday. We also want to give a shout out to Cliff, who's not feeling well. Send your prayers and all that toward Cliff. Hope he feels better. Send a prayer out to Phil's. Something going on technically with him. We get that all fixed, so we'll be here tomorrow. Want to give Papa Wheelie a shout out for joining us today. Las Cruces was in the house. Thank you for joining us today. TM Nerdy was in the house. Thank you for joining us today. Joe 4771 is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Madame was in the house today. Thank you for joining us. Larry Jackson was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Evil was in the house. Thank you for joining us. Kamaria is in the house. Thank you for joining us. As I go through, there's more. There's more. Phil Ailing is in the house tonight. Thank you for joining us. Kalita Carrington, thank you for joining us. Lady Fantastic is in the house tonight. Thank you for joining us. We know you missed Cliff. We'll try to see if he can come back on Monday. Thank you for joining us anyway, Lady Fantastic. Strange Dog Comic Stuff is in the house. Thank you for joining us. John's Comics with Kids is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Visionaire is in the house. Thank you for joining us. He said Batman is my favorite superhero. This was cool to listen to. Glad you liked it. Tune in to next week. Oh, yeah. Oh, Kamaria says that Mama Carrington is in the house. Mr. Alexis, thank you for joining us. Thanks for the show. Like, thank you for watching. We want to thank everybody.
Maybe it was Las Cruces.
Maybe we want to thank everybody for joining us. Make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back next Sunday, 5 p.m., 2 p.m. Pacific, to go over the Dark Knight. But, Super Bowl's coming up. I hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl. I hope your team wins. Enjoy the trailers. We'll be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Why do I always do this? I don't know. It's just something that I do. But make sure you show up tomorrow night, 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific, so we go over all the new keys and comics of the week. See, Bizzle will be with us again. It's going to be a fun time. Hopefully, Cliff and Phil will be in here as well. So, for myself, for Cliff, for Green Shirt Guy, for Phil, for Papa Wheelie, and the rest of the Council of Comics, we love you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes?